All right, joined here this morning, special guest in studio, Skylar Mays, who has just finishing up in a fantastic junior season on the floor. We're talking about some of his studies that he handles off the floor, and we had to schedule this interview for 7 o'clock at night here on Wednesday because of his schedule. You and I touched base over the weekend. We were going to do this Monday morning and preview the national championship game, but you're in the gym 6 o'clock in the morning working out. Take our listeners through just a Skylar Mays day for us. And thank you for joining us. It's good to see you.
Well,
you get up in that thing.
Yeah, during the season it's hectic. I have class from basically 7 to 12, and then we've got practice and lifting and all that stuff. And I'm a guy who likes to put extra work in. And, and then hopefully I don't have a lab that night. Thursday nights this year, this semester I have a lab, so. Luckily, we were able to do it Wednesday night.
Explain to everyone, though, because maybe everyone doesn't know, like, what your major is. Because a lot of kids go to school, play sports, but what's your major?
Oh, well, I was a pre-med biology major the first 2 years. And then just the reason I really switched, it wasn't really that it's hard, obviously, but the amount of labs that come with biology versus the amount of labs that come with kinesiology, it was the only way it was going to work for me to be able to get all my classes done, because once we start traveling and stuff, it's hard you can't miss that many labs and stay in with it. So that was pretty much the big decision I had to make.
And so you and I, we were talking about it's not necessarily the class schedule, it's the study schedule that really kind of smothers you, right?
Yeah, classes at most going to be an hour and a half. And but the material that you can cover in an hour and a half, it's pretty insane. Not to mention the amount of days I miss when we go, especially like when we're in season. And our season covers the end of November in November. That's when things rev up for finals for that first semester, and then you're going all the way into March. Hopefully, like we were able to do this year.
Yeah.
So I'm missing a lot of school.
What's your grade point average right now?
I'm at a 4.1. 4.008. I never like to give myself too much credit.
So you average
SEC and a 4.
You average 33 minutes a game, 13 points a game. You're all SEC. You're an academic All-American with a 4.0 in kinesiology. And then you make the decision earlier this week to enter the NBA draft and foregoing the rest of your tenure at LSU. Tell me now the mentality, because I know that you're still in school. Yeah. You're still going to school. What's the mentality day in, day out, kind of how you're operating in your preparation and what you're training for?
Well, as far as the decision, I think if you looked at me and you're looking at somebody who's probably not as good of a student as me and was as big of a part of this team that had as much success as this had, then it wouldn't have looked at like such a crazy decision to make. And obviously, I care about my academics, and I take pride in what I do in the classroom. But I grew up loving basketball. That's plan A for me. And I'm not sure how many people understand that, but and I grew up. At 4 years old, that's when I started playing basketball. I wasn't thinking about being a doctor at that point. You know what I mean? So. I definitely wouldn't want to end my career at 22 years old. So.
Yeah, and you're, like you said, all SEC. You're pretty damn good. In fact, one of the games I went to this year, I had to leave because my baby started breaking down because you brought the house down with a dunk. When that was it was one of those at the beginning. I didn't even know you could get up like that. But yes, that's exactly what it was, that Memphis dunk. Yeah. Everybody went crazy, baby freaked out. I had to leave. But take me back, because this year truly was incredible. Like, for someone like me, always been an LSU fan. This is the most I ever loved LSU basketball. Yeah. 2 years ago, did you see yourself ever becoming the SEC regular season champion?
I couldn't say I did, especially after the year we had. But, man, I just take it a day at a time, and I just try to do my part. And I'm just glad that it's led to such success this season. And I'm so proud of all the guys that have been a part of this, all the guys that probably don't get as much recognition, the coaching staff, all the way to our academic advisors and the faculty and the fans that support us, because they play just as big a role in our success as the guys that are on the court.
What was your favorite moment this year?
I'd definitely say winning the SEC title. that's something that, especially our group and with all that we've been through with going back to what happened with Wade and stuff, and to have a story written like that can't be taken away from us is, it's special.
So take me to that late September evening, because I got a call at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, from a staffer, and got the news. And the first person I thought of was Miss Faye, and Mr. Wayne, and then I thought of you, because I've sat courtside for you and Wade your sophomore and junior year. You left and went to Finley Prep your senior year, but Wade's senior year, when you guys went back to back. Wade three-peated state champion. His numbers in the rafters at U High. Watching you guys grow, seeing your relationship, seeing you guys best friends. Sky, I mean, what has it been like since that news?
That particular day was a blur, and but for the most part, obviously it's a tragedy what happened with Wade, and he'll never be forgotten. I'm going to make sure I definitely taking ownership and making sure that he's never forgotten down here, wherever I go, wherever my journey leads. And but for the most part, when I think about Wade, all I can do is smile, because that's the type of person he was, man. I don't know if I'm positive that I'll never meet another person like that who has that type of spirit that just spreads to everybody. He really radiates, and like that's my guy, man, since diapers.
You guys brought a bunch of personalities together, different personalities from all over the country for this team, and it seemed like that night that you were really starting to come together. You guys were going to start practice the next morning. What did that news do to the team? Because you guys seemed like such a tight group throughout the run, but it started way, way back in October.
Yeah, and I think he was a huge part of that. He was definitely our glue guy. Just being the person he was, he didn't have to get out of his comfort zone to play his role in bringing guys together. That's just the person he was, and everybody pretty much gravitated towards him. And I definitely say he was the key in us becoming such a close group. And obviously, when something like that happens, it's going to bring the guys together, because we all experienced it. It's definitely a first-time experience for me. I can't say for my other teammates, but I would guess 90% of them is a first-time experience for them. So that's something that we'll always remember, obviously, and we definitely used it as something that gave us that extra kick in most of the games we played.
How fun is March basketball?
Oh, man, I can't even put that into words. That was such a great experience. Obviously, we wish we would have done more, but the way we won the games, which is pretty much the way we won games the whole year, but in that type of environment and on that type of stage, it was so much fun.
Well, and I want to ask about the way that you won games, because speaking of mental toughness, like I've never seen a team as consistent as y'all were in these close contests, be it overtime, whatever, finding ways to win. What's the key to making that happen?
Well, I think we have a lot of high character guys and great competitors. Like practice was really intense, and that's what I miss most about this team: practice.
Wow.
The way we would come at each other, we would go at each other, and then we could just leave it all on the floor, and then be in the locker room just kicking back with jokes and walking back to the dorm, stuff like that. That's stuff that people probably don't really think about as much, but that's the most fun part of it. And but when you have guys that just love to compete, you're not going to stop. And I think the Missouri game was definitely the moment where we knew
the crazy comeback.
Where we had the confidence that no matter how what the chips look like, you're gonna have to beat us at 0-0.
How many threes did you make down the stretch there too? That Missouri game
7?
was it like?
I think I only made.
It was like 3 or 4, but in like 30. I thought it was in like 30 seconds.
The team, I think.
Yeah.
I had two threes, but
Okay.
I had 1 3-point play. So
Yes, that's what it was. It was 9 points like that.
Yeah.
So when we
Crazy,
come back,
man.
let's take a small break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. I want to play a little name association with you, get your thoughts on your junior season, maybe the outlook and future of LSU basketball, and your thoughts on some of your teammates. Skylar Mays is in studio with us. A great conversation with the Baton Rouge native, 2-time state champion over at University High, the leader of this Sweet 16 run here for this LSU team. A great hometown story and great conversation happening right now on Off the Bench. All right, welcome back here in studio with all SEC backcourt player for the LSU Tigers, Skylar Mays. We told you Baton Rouge native. Great stories in our last segment. I want to play a little name association with you. Greg Heyer. When you hear the name Greg Heyer, give me a phrase that pops to mind for you.
I probably can't say those on the air, but dude's insane. Dude's insane. I love him because he's about work just like I am. And we've spent a lot of time in the gym lately and just since I've been here. And he's definitely, I'd say he's changed my life and turned me and been a big part of the player that I've turned into.
Heyer tells me that you're one of the guys that has developed the most as far as in front of his eyes, as far as this first day that he worked with you to the present day. In your opinion, what have you improved on the most in college?
I think just understanding my game and learning how to play within myself. Because, when Tremont wasn't here, I was starting at point guard.
Right.
And I never knew how to play off the ball. So that was something that I had to pick up quick if I wanted to, be able to make plays. And I think Coach Heyer's definitely helped me the most in that aspect.
I got 3 more names for you. And when people ask me who has been instrumental in your development, I always say this guy first. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Greg Golden.
Yeah, I'd say you're definitely right. I'd say he's just as much as Coach Heyer.
I mean, to me, the difference in your game is that you're stronger.
That's how you pulled off the Memphis stuff.
I mean, like the balance. I mean, the shots that you were taking 2 years ago, you were on the floor.
Yeah, and I obviously I can't spend as much time with Coach Golden in the weight room as I can on the court. But man, Coach Heyer's changed. I mean, Coach Golden has changed my body so much, and it's definitely helped me be able to bully smaller guards.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Make my way to the goal and be able to finish at the rim. And but I think the best thing about my relationship with Coach Golden is he reminds me of Wade in the sense that he's able to get the most out of you through his personality and make you more like him. And I think as an even-keeled person, and with him being so flamboyant, like I like to say about Wade, he's rubbed off on me in the right way, and I think it's helped my leadership.
I got 2 more for you. Johnny Jones.
Great guy. I love him to death. He's the reason I'm here at LSU at the end of the day, and he had a great year at Texas Southern.
He did.
I followed him, and I'm really cool with John. I talk to John often, so man, I love Coach Jones to death.
Last one, Will Wade.
Will Wade, that's my guy too. They didn't have to keep me here at the end of the day. But
were you close? Were you close to making a decision?
I was definitely going to see how it worked out here, and it worked out really well. And Coach Wade took me in and taught me a lot of things, and hopefully he can continue to teach me a lot of things.
You excited to get those rings?
Oh man, I can't wait! I'm ready to get my finger fitted and all that. We haven't done that yet though.
Take me into practice, because it seems like your practices were highly competitive. Who was pushing the meter? Who was the guys that was kind of getting the most out of everybody?
Yeah, Javante, as you would probably expect. Emmett's definitely a loud guy who makes the environment intense. Our coaching staff makes the environment intense. But if I had to put it on a player, I would say Javante is the one who kind of made every day a battle.
So, but who's the guy that maybe people are a little afraid to mess with? Is there anybody who's just a little crazy or a little more stone-faced than the others?
Guys wouldn't mess with me. I know I can play. I'm not going to say too much, but I can play. But the first person I thought of when you say who you don't want to mess with, it was actually Marshall, because Marshall can get hot.
Really?
He pretty much destroys us every time they have scout teams. So.
And that's why they talk about him being, one of the best shooters on the team.
I think he should play more. I mean, I'm not a coach, but I mean, just when he gets in there, he doesn't think about it. He just puts it up.
That's the most impressive part.
I love how he doesn't have a conscience.
Confident.
You think Nas is gonna be a good pro?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's got all the tools. I mean, a 6'11" guard, and in that NBA setting with more space, I feel like he's gonna flourish.
There's a lot of questions around the program right now, and I don't want to get you in the middle of it and have you answer any of those. But let's say everything works out for the best, and Coach Wade's reinstated. What do you do with your decision? Do you rethink it, or how firm are you on your choice?
I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Me and Coach Wade have had talks before this season even started about, the NBA, because he knows my passion about being able to play at the next level. And, I just want to get the most out of this process. The way the NCAA set things up with all the rules that they've put in place, I felt like it was a no-brainer to at least look at my options. And,
Sure.
Med school isn't going anywhere, you know what I mean? But you only play ball. The ball only keeps bouncing for so long.
You got a legitimate vertical leap on
man.
Marlon Taylor? I've heard 45 inches.
Yeah, I'd guess 45.
What's
is that
your-
I
legit?
guess 45 at least. I guess
At least 45?
Because Antonio had a 42, Samp had a 43, and it just looks totally different with Marlon. But the impressive thing about Antonio is Antonio's standing leap and his max vert were the same thing.
Damn.
That's
Did you know that
That's an athlete, bro.
Yeah.
That's
Probably
an
the
athlete.
the craziest internet thing that I've figured out like the past couple months? People think that Wilt Chamberlain had a 48-inch vertical.
There's pictures of him, bro.
And there's pictures of him.
Kansas.
And
Never
it's
mind.
scary,
It
dude.
is scary.
It's some scary stuff. What about
Skylar-
you? What's your vert? Sorry, I got to
Yeah.
get it before you go.
I'd say 36 when my knees are feeling good. Nothing,
Oh,
it ain't bad, but
You were getting up this season,
yeah, I'll
though,
put
dude.
it up once. I'll catch somebody though.
Skylar Mays is a Baton Rouge native, and we tell everybody at LSU he should be on billboards. He's an academic All-American.
Yeah.
He's an All-SEC on the floor. He's a great representative of our city, our state, and the flagship university. We appreciate you squeezing in a couple of minutes on, I know it is a busy day and a busy schedule. Thank you, man.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate y'all for having me. Anytime I can do this, I'm definitely open to it.
Absolutely.
Congrats,
There he is,
man.
Skylar Mays in studio with us. We'll be back with more Off the Bench.